welcome to Gaggia Cafe TV. What we're going to be doing today is we're looking at the test mode for the Gaggia Brera, just so you can make sure that all of the functions of your machine individually are working, or you can help us diagnose over the phone if you give us a call what's wrong with your machine and we can tell you how to fix it. The very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put the Brera into test mode when we start it up. The way to do this is to take the selector dial at the front and turn it over to the right, to the espresso, and then you're going to hold the small espresso button with your finger and turn on the machine at the back. When you see at the front that you have the dancing green lights, you're going to let go, and if you're successfully in test mode, you should see a red circle on the power button and also the orange descaling sign down here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cycle through the test modes and test each part of the machine individually. The very first thing that we're going to do is, if you push the power button once, you will get one coffee bean as well as the descaling symbol along the bottom here. And what this is doing is it's testing the keyboard inputs of your selector at the front here. And you want to cycle your selector all the way across, and every time you move it you should get a different set of green lights. So when you're in the middle you should have two green espresso cups if everything's okay. When you're all the way over to the left you should have a green steam symbol if everything's alright, and then when you're all the way over to the right you should have a green espresso cup if everything is okay with your selector dial in the middle here. We're then going to cycle to the next round of the test mode. If you push the power button again, we're now at the second round, which is 2 coffee beans, and the second round of the test mode is moving the brewing unit backwards and forwards inside the machine. The brewing unit has 2 places that it can be inside the machine. It's got the work mode, which is all the way to the front, and it's got the home mode, which is all the way to the back. To move it to the work mode, what you do is you push the small espresso cup at the top here, and that moves it all the way forwards. If it doesn't move and you hear a clicking and a red warning triangle comes up, that just means that you were already in work mode, so you can't go any further. That warning triangle should go away if you push the bottom full espresso cup and you hear the machine moving the brewing unit all the way back inside. What you want to do is you want to make sure that the brewing unit moves backwards and forwards. So move it backwards once and move it forwards once. But before we move to the next round of the testing function, what we want to do is we want to make sure it is all the way forwards. So you want to push the small espresso unit, small espresso button, so that the brewing unit has moved all the way forwards. You don't want a red warning triangle just here. If you've got a red warning triangle, you want to tap the full espresso cup once to make that red warning triangle go away. And we're going to move to the third testing mode now. And you do that again by pushing the power button just here. And that moves us to the third coffee bean, the third orange coffee bean along the bottom here. And what we're going to test now is we're going to test the pump. And we're going to test the lines inside the machine to see whether there are any blockages. The 3 places that you need to test it with the selector dial in all 3 of the positions, and if you've got the selector dial all the way over to the right here, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to test the pump of the hot water through the steam arm here. And if you push the bottom espresso cup just here, what happens is that you should get water out, and if you let go it should stop. If that doesn't happen, that means that you've got a blockage in the inside the steam line just here. If you hear nothing, that means that your pump is broken. Then we're going to test the water coming out of the espresso nozzles at the front here, and again the same thing, you want to push the bottom espresso cup. This does take a while to come through. We have some customers alarmed that this isn't working. You want to press and hold, and it's going to take around about 10 seconds because the water's got to go all the way through the brewing unit and come out of the nozzles at the front here. You can see ours is dripping through nicely here. And then finally we're going to take the selector dial, we're going to move it all the way to the left hand side here, and we're going to test it one more time so that that works there. The most common place you can get blockages is inside the espresso nozzles just here. There are a few things we can do about that. Give us a call if that has happened, but that happens a lot because of the grease from the coffee. There are some things we can do with degreasing tablets at home, or if you do need to send it to the shop we can clear it for you. The final test mode that we're going to do is we're going to push the power button one more time, and that brings up the spoon of pre-ground coffee. So we've now got the 3 coffee beans and a spoon, and what this mode does is it tests the grinder and the heater inside the machine. The grinder you want to push this spoon again, and you want to do it very, very briefly, because at the moment the brewing unit is not ready to accept the coffee grounds. So you do it very quickly just to make sure that it's working, and in a moment we will have to go and clear those out, the grounds that we just made. The heater, what we have to do is we have to hold, to test the heater, we have to hold the bottom espresso cup just here, and you want to count to 10 while you give it a hold, because we're going to test that the water gets heated up. But the only way we can check whether or not the water got heated up will be to pump that water back out through and see if it's nice and warm. So we've held it until 10, so that should have heated up some of the water. So we're now going to cycle the test modes all the way back through to 3 coffee beans. 1, 2, 3. So we've got to 3 coffee beans, and we're going to test the pump by pushing the big espresso cup just here, and you want to put your little finger in there and see whether it's warm water that's coming out. And that's really quite warm. So if that's cold, we can tell you you've got a heater problem. That's how you test the full function of the Gaggia Brera. If you've got any questions or concerns, you can leave a comment below, or you can get hold of us on our phone number, or go to our website and fill out a contact form. Other than that, like and subscribe, and everything should be okay. Hello, welcome to Gaggia Cafe TV. What we're going to be doing today is we're looking at the test mode for the Gaggia Brera, just so you can make sure that all of the functions of your machine individually are working, or you can help us diagnose over the phone if you give us a call what's wrong with your machine, and we can tell you how to fix it. The very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put the Brera into test mode when we start it up. The way to do this is to take the selector dial at the front and turn it over to the right, to the espresso, and then you're going to hold the small espresso button with your finger and turn on the machine at the back. When you see at the